Hi, welcome to Alley Picked, where today I'm going to be carving the name of my church and its logo into this large limestone block. Why? And how did I get here? Well, for that, we're going to have to go back to where this story begins. This is Mount Olive Church in Chicago. After only 95 years, it was finally decided to invest in a wheelchair-accessible ramp on the outside of the building. In order to accommodate the ramp, a section of the porch wall had to be removed, along with this limestone cap. The large limestone cap probably would have ended up in the city dump. Now, I couldn't let such a nice piece of stone go to waste. If only I could carve the name of the church into it, that would be amazing. The only problem is, I have absolutely no idea how to do it. Not one to be discouraged or sidelined by my own ignorance, I set out to educate myself. I started my knowledge quest by looking for stone carving videos on YouTube. I came across a guy by the name of Wayne Ferree. I watched several of his videos. He's an excellent limestone carver and teacher, but he uses power tools. I sent Mr. Ferree an email asking what kind of chisels I should buy if I wanted to hand carve letters into the limestone. Within a couple days, Mr. Ferree replied, and soon my order was placed for 3 very expensive chisels which he recommended from the Trow and Holden Company that specializes in fine stoneworking tools. It did make sense that I invest in some good tools, which may compensate for my lack of experience and skill. The good thing is that I do have experience in wood chip carving. While the material is stone and not wood, and the tools are chisels and not a wood knife, the shape of the letters are the same, and so I did have a good idea at least how the letters should be shaped. Before I can even begin chiseling, I want the surface to be clean and flat. This stone has taken quite a beating. I grabbed this fluted rubbing brick, which I picked up at an estate sale. It actually worked pretty good. Another thing I tried was a belt sander using a 40 grit belt. That worked even better. Now I need to transfer the image that I want to carve onto the stone. I printed it on paper and then used carbon paper to transfer the image to the stone. It came out a little too light, but then I darkened it with a fine Sharpie. The chiseling process is tedious and slow. I started out by outlining each shape that I was going to chisel. Starting on the outside with the chisel at an angle, I tapped towards the center of the letter. I used the 1/2-inch chisel for a majority of the letters and the smaller chisel for the smaller parts of each letter. I repeat the same process multiple times. I go around each letter a little deeper until I get about a 1/2 inch deep at the center of each letter. I should have timed myself on this, but I think it took about a half hour to 45 minutes for each letter to get the rough shape. For the ends of the stone, I'm going to need to clean off all of the old cement and adhesive. I don't have any tool that's capable of making a uniform straight cut, so I'm going to make multiple passes using this 4.5 inch diamond blade on a grinding wheel. I do like the imperfect swirl marks. After I finished all of the letters, I fine-tuned each of them by using a wood chisel. Yes, you heard correctly, a wood chisel. It worked very good to clear away minor chips and smooth out the inside of each letter. Now it's time to return to the scene of the crime and install the stone at the front of the church in the garden. I'm using this other large stone as the base. It's 4 inches thick, 4 feet long, and 16 inches wide. Someone gave this to me almost 20 years ago, and I've stored it outside next to my garage all this time. It was just waiting for the perfect time to be used, and this is it.